morning, Swain Event crew. The new year is here and it's the 2022 East Tennessee real estate season. As I always do, I'm going to shoot straight with you. If you have a home to sell, then you need to give me a call ASAP. Inventory is low and I will get you the most money possible and more than you think trying to sell it on your own. If you are a seller that also needs to buy a home, you need to call me ASAP, as there are ways I can help you manage that situation and stay in your home until we find what you want. If you are looking to buy, you need to call me ASAP. You absolutely need someone on your side to help navigate the current waters, and you need someone that's going to do their homework and find homes that aren't on the market yet. Bottom line, you need to call me today ASAP. Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897. If you are buying, selling, or considering investing in real estate this year, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon, and go Vols!
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, T. Kell, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. T. Kell and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suits your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for dependents. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 laps and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. It is Monday. It's good to have you back here with us from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio. Our telephone number is 865-255-03. If you want to get in on the conversation, you can do that. Hour one is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. HappyHiller.com. Ben, you made it back safe from the state of Alabama, man. Good to see you.
I did. Good to see you. I had a great weekend, as most can imagine. A very busy weekend, but one of those weekends that you're really thankful for, and a weekend that I will remember for the rest of my life. Aside from the gender reveal that my wife and I had on Friday night, got in the car afterwards and drove down to the Mobile area for a wedding, and got to see the friends that I've known the longest in my life. Been rocking since third grade in good old Fort Irwin, California, at Irwin Elementary School in the third grade, stealing all the girls at the time, stealing all of them together. And my guy Justin got married, got to see his twin brother Jeremy and his parents, so that was really, really cool. And I felt like I was gone for 3 or 4 days, honestly. The wife and I had a nice little day getaway, but it felt like we were gone for 3-4 days, and got some good seafood. Crab cakes are like my favorite food on the planet, so I got to have me some nice crab cakes. Got to find a nice little spot to sit down and watch Tennessee beat down South Carolina on Saturday. That was fun.
Did you watch both teams play?
I did not watch the Lady Vols. I was intending to watch the Lady Vols. I woke up yesterday morning and left the bottom. I thought it was funny. I was at the bottom left corner of the state of Alabama yesterday morning, and then I drove through the very top right of the state yesterday evening. I literally drove the state of Alabama yesterday, which is as miserable as it sounds, especially south of Montgomery, because it is just absolutely 3 hours of nothing leading towards the beach. But I was going to get back to my parents about the start of the second half, and I saw the score, saw they were down 20. I was like, nah, I'm not going to turn it on.
I'm good. I'm
good. I'm not interjecting that basketball game into my weekend. But I got to watch the entire men's game on Saturday. I turned it off with like 6 minutes to go because it was over, and it looked like Georgia was about to beat Auburn, and I was sitting waiting on the wedding to begin. So I was like, I'm gonna watch the rest of this one. So I watched 35 of the 40 minutes of the men's game. It was already over. Apparently all I missed was Jonas Adu checking in and Brock Jancic scoring a bucket and Jemai Mashak and those guys playing.
Yeah, you second half is when Tennessee just took off and controlled the game and was on fire from the 3-point line. Tied for Tennessee's best shooting performance on the season. Can this team continue to play like that? Continue to shoot the way they did in the second half? That's gonna be the question, man. This gender reveal, though, man, you were schooling me on how it works. I've never been through a gender reveal.
I think we should have a fourth and do one for you.
I'm good. The 3 kids that I had, we just kind of found out at the doctor, and then that was it. But you were schooling me on how it goes, and I was thinking, man, it's good for you to go home for your gender reveal.
Why is that?
Because that's it was a special moment. It's your hometown.
No.
It's home for you, and you had your parents there, and
you're not slick.
You only have special moments in places that's special to your heart, and right there in North Alabama, man, just special to your heart. It was really, really cool to see the video.
I'm gonna fight you.
The swing was perfect. It was Ken Griffey-ish. The pitch was perfect. It reminded me of a home run derby. It was perfect. Savannah did a really great job putting it in the strike zone, making it hittable, and you crushed it, man. You peed all over the ball. So it was a great video, man.
I appreciate that. In all seriousness, the one thing that kind of stinks about living in a different town than your parents and a different town than where you just went to high school is that for Savannah and I, we have our family in Huntsville, our parents, and then our grandparents are scattered throughout the state of Tennessee. But then we have a bunch of friends in Knoxville. We have a bunch of friends in Huntsville and friends in Nashville and Atlanta and all over the place. So it's kind of difficult to get everybody in one spot. Like I would have loved for you and your family to be there. But obviously you don't need to drive to Huntsville for a gender reveal. But we had other friends in Knoxville that we would have loved to have been there as well. But that's kind of part of it. And we just picked a date and ran with it. And whoever could be there. And it was time to find out the gender of the baby. So we are over the moon to have a baby boy. I just can't wait to like play catch with him and throw the baseball and the football and just do all sorts of those kind of things with him. And
it'll be here before you know it.
I'm super excited, and Savannah's pitch was really good. I rolled over to second for a double play on it. It wasn't my best swing, but I made contact, and it wasn't necessarily a strike per se. It's not a pitch I would have swung at in a game, but when it's a hit and run and you have to make contact, you swing, and we made contact, and that was the most important part. But it was really, 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 really cool, and I appreciate everybody who reached out on social media and sent me personal messages on Facebook, on Twitter, and I saw all the mentions on my tweet of the video as well, and I appreciated each and every one of them. So to all of you who did reach out and wish us a congratulations, thank you so much. It really meant a lot. And all I'm going to say, Swain, is your little girls, they're not too far ahead age-wise from little Ben. So I'm just going to say, you better hide your girls because little Ben's coming.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
If he picks up any swag from his dad, I don't have anything to worry about. 865-255-03. Josiah Jordan James, ladies and gentlemen.
A beast.
Josiah Jordan James. Foul trouble stopped him from dropping 20 in the Texas A&M game, but the fouls could not stop him from dropping 20 against South Carolina, his home state team. Josiah has been amazing in the last couple of games. He's been the key to this offense. He's been like literally the key that has unlocked the Tennessee's offense and Tennessee's potential that we felt like Tennessee could have at the beginning of the season. You look at his day, 4 for 9 from 3. I don't know if Rick wants him to shoot that many threes, but hey, he was 4 for 9, 50% from the field, 20 points, 3 steals, 3 blocks. I mean, he blocked more shots than anybody else on the basketball team. 0 turnovers, 6 rebounds. Uros had 8 rebounds. I mean, everyone just was on their A game. Zakai Ziegler, just like we've seen, last couple weeks, when he comes into the game, he affects the game. The tempo changes. The pace changes. Had back-to-back threes. He was 80% from the three-point line. In 27 minutes, he dropped 18 points, which is the second leading scorer. Kenny Chandler is playing within himself more and more. His best game taking care of the basketball, Ben. He had 10 assists and 1 turnover.
Double-double.
Oh, my goodness. Kenny Chandler looking real good right now at the right time, and that's what it's about. It's about playing the best basketball when it matters most. And basketball is a long season. It's a different game than football. You can have a stinker one day and fix it, come back, and not have it, kill your resume. Use it as motivation. Use it as a teaching moment. Improve, and then voila, snap into a team that is supposed to be playing their best basketball at the end of the season. That's what they're doing. So can it continue? Because right now Tennessee is tied for 3rd in the SEC with Arkansas. Kentucky is number 2. Auburn is number 1, obviously. But you play Arkansas coming up, but you have a big midweek test against Mississippi State.
Yes.
On the road, at the hump, a hard place to play, Ben. So, man, Tennessee right now is on a nice SEC winning streak, and you look at some of the other teams around the league, can't say other teams can't say the same, about the winning streak that they've had in the SEC besides Auburn and Kentucky. But Tennessee's had a nice winning streak with two of the best teams in the country, two of the teams that possibly can get to the Final Four and win the whole deal. So the Tennessee basketball, the men's team, is playing at a high level at the right time.
Trending in the right direction. The next step, though, is beating a legitimate team.
Yes.
They did beat LSU, but the wheels are falling off of that wagon.
They are a butt right now.
Yes, they are butt booty terrible. Got absolutely beat down by Vanderbilt on Saturday. Well, it was around 20-point loss, correct? I know it was double digits, and they were losing by 20 at one point. I don't know the exact point total of what it ended up being. But that was Tennessee's best win during this 5-game stretch. Maybe now it's Florida, but even Florida's a solid team, but nothing that really – it's a game that Tennessee should have won. They did what they were supposed to do in that game, and then you also beat Vanderbilt and South Carolina, and what was it? Ole Miss is the other one in this conference win streak that Tennessee has beaten. So the next step is, in my opinion, not even a Mississippi State, but over the next couple of weeks, and it's somewhat spread out, but next Tuesday, in 8 days, the Kentucky Wildcats come to Knoxville for a 9 p.m. Eastern tip.
Oh, my goodness.
And then a couple of weeks after that, that even before Auburn, though, Arkansas comes next Saturday. So you get Kentucky on Tuesday, Arkansas on Saturday. Those are the type of wins. Even Mississippi State would be I think beating Mississippi State on the road in the hump, 9 Eastern tip on the road. I think that would be probably Tennessee's best win of this conference win streak. But the next step, now that it appears that Tennessee is hitting a groove and the stock is going up and they are trending in the right direction, they've got to prove that it is legitimate stock and knock off Kentucky, quite frankly, because that's the next step. And those are really the type of teams that you are going to run into in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, if Tennessee played like they have been playing the last 2 games against Kentucky, when they lost, they still lose the game, though. Mm-hmm. So, if Kentucky comes in here and have the same performance, which you shouldn't expect, because they are a team that plays better at home versus on the road. Now, that game against Alabama, Alabama just couldn't make a shot. They could not make a 3-point shot. It was like 5 minutes left in the game, 4 minutes left in the game, and they had not made a 3-point shot there in the second half. And I don't know what Davison was doing. He was so careless with the basketball. But Alabama makes some shots. That's a game. I mean, Alabama is good enough to beat anybody in the country, and then also bad enough to lose to anybody in the country.
Yes.
But that game between Bama and Kentucky, it was about Alabama's inability to make shots from the outside. And Tennessee can beat Kentucky, but we have experienced the best Kentucky, has looked in one season, and that was against us. The truth is, Kentucky can win the whole championship, along with Auburn, along with some other schools like Gonzaga and Purdue and Arizona. But Kentucky's in that category. But all I'm saying is, it's reasonable to think that Tennessee could play like they played against South Carolina and still lose against Kentucky, because they're a good team, man.
Yeah.
They're one of the best. They're a top 5 team for a reason.
Well, and if Kentucky shoots the way that it did in Lexington, then it doesn't matter how great Tennessee plays.
Yeah,
Tennessee's gonna, any team is gonna lose to Kentucky on that night. But again, that is the best Kentucky's offense has looked all year. Part of it was Tennessee giving them easy, open looks. The other part of it was that it didn't matter if a hand was in their face or not, shots were going down. And there have been several games since that game that Kentucky has played in which their offense didn't it was kind of rusty throughout the game and didn't click. Now, they looked awesome against Kansas. That's been their most impressive performance since then, but they played in some games since then to where it did not look all that pretty. And if Tennessee can knock down shots like it did against South Carolina, that translates to any game. I mean, that is what Tennessee looks like when it's knocking down open shots, and we've been begging for them to do that all year long. And if that's something that is going to actually kick in and take place, then Tennessee's going to become a real dangerous team, because this team is starting to truly find its voices on the team and its leadership. Guys are starting to buy into their roles and truly, I don't know about buy in. I think the team has been bought in per se all year, but they're starting to understand their roles and excel in their roles. And the guys that need to be the guys on the team are starting to realize that they have to be and are performing to that standard. So, and Tennessee's defense is one of the best in the country. So Tennessee's got some ingredients kind of cooking up in the pot right now that is trending in the right direction as March approaches. And I think Tennessee is certainly capable of beating Kentucky next Tuesday night here in Thompson-Boling Arena.
It's going to take the crowd getting into the game, creating an atmosphere like we saw with Tennessee hosting Arizona early in the season. I think that's why that game is a 9 p.m. game. You don't want that game to be 6 o'clock where people are just filing in from work. You want them to have enough time to get ready. However you get ready for basketball games, but get ready and make Thompson-Boling a true home court advantage. 865-255-03. Got some football to talk about. Super Bowl week is coming up. Tennessee recruiting in basketball. Tennessee recruiting in football. Lots to get to today here in the Swain Event. Don't go anywhere. We'll take our first break of the day. Fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
If you want to be part of the show, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503.
Hello? Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup, Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, subscribe to the Swain Event channel on YouTube.
Valville says Arizona is an Elite 8 team at best. Well, how do you know that? I mean, they have all the pieces to make it all the way. They have beat UCLA, who's a top 5 team. They beat UCLA at home, and then turn around and beat USC. That was a team that people were kind of wondering, okay, is this team gonna be good or not? They had a couple games postponed because of COVID. But they had an unbelievable record. So they beat
USC.
Yeah, they beat 2 of the best teams in the Pac-12 in a week span. So Arizona, depending on the draw, could go all the way.
Yeah,
I mean, they have the pieces.
They're the real deal.
Yeah, they have all the pieces. We caught them on a perfect night, but there's a good collection of teams that, depending on the matchup, depending on the night or the day, they could be Sweet 16 or go all the way to the Final Four. That's why the tournament is so great and weird and wacky at the same time. Think about all the great players and teams that Calipari has had, Coach K has had, Roy Williams has had. They haven't been to the Final Four consistently. They lose in the Sweet 16. They lose in the 32. They lose in the Elite 8 because it's hard. It's hard to get all the way to the show. And sometimes the matchup is just not in your favor. So Arizona, hey, they may just get to the Elite 8, but they're more than capable of getting to the Final Four. They got all the pieces, and they're playing well right now. 2 top 5, top 10 wins in a week against conference opponents. It's pretty good. Yeah. So you can't really judge them based on what we saw from them when we played them. You can kind of look at their body of work and who they've played this season, how they've played this season. I think Arizona is a legitimate contender.
I think I'll have, depending on the matchup, I'll have Arizona going far on my bracket. Now, I'm sure after we've had this entire conversation, Arizona will lose in the first round and make us both look like idiots. But on my bracket, I will probably have Arizona going to pretty far. I'm not going to say I'm going to pick them to win the national championship. Right now, it's hard to pick anybody but Auburn to win the national championship, even with a tough outing on Saturday against Georgia. What is it with Georgia and Tom Crean? Can't beat anybody until the top teams in the country come to your place to play, and then you find ways to beat them.
Yeah, when you came home short against Auburn, you just play. I guess coming close is like a moral victory for those guys.
Yeah, and I thought Georgia got screwed there at the end on that bucket by Wendell Green to give them the lead. I thought that was a charge, and I didn't think the basket should have counted. And Now, granted, I didn't see the replay, but it looked like it should have been a charge when I watched it live. And, I mean, that was the game-winning bucket. And then you had a wide-open three in the corner, and the dude just missed.
He just missed.
So, I don't know. I'm ready for Bruce to lose. I'm sorry. You never want to see your ex doing better than you. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Some of us have that feeling. Some of us are Auburn fans.
Yeah. Well, I just
is weird,
and love to use that as a reason to put down Rick when Rick has a great basketball program right now. Tennessee is in a great spot on the basketball court. And also, speaking of like comparing others to put ours down, you mentioned J.D. Davison last break or last segment. J.D. Davison is not living up to the 5-star hype, but nobody's talking about him. And people are complaining about Kennedy Chandler left and right. Kennedy is having a really good freshman season. A really good freshman season. Now, it may not be the type of 5-star, one-and-done type of season that everybody expected. I can recognize that. I mean, I thought he was going to play himself into a top 10-ish, top 15 pick, and I don't think that he has done that per se. But I do think he's been better than Jaden Springer and Keon Johnson. And aside from that, I mean, he's like I said, he's had a really good freshman season, and there's this stigma that Rick Barnes gets these 5-stars that just do absolutely nothing when they get here. Go look at J.D. Davison. J.D. Davison was supposed to be the same, have the same type of season as Kennedy was supposed to have, and Kennedy is having a far better season than J.D. Davison. I mean, every time I've turned on Alabama this year, and I watch a lot of SEC basketball, go out of my way to watch it, I haven't really seen J.D. Davison do much of anything this year.
Except for the Houston game.
Yeah. When I have watched him, I have not seen him do much.
Yep. I was and
my point is folks should have more of an appreciation for Kennedy because of that situation.
I agree.
I mean, to have a double-double in college basketball with assists is really, really incredible. Really, really incredible. In 40 minutes, a double-double, and it's not off of rebounds. It's via assists. That is really, really impressive. And instead of comparing Zakai to Kennedy, or rather Kennedy to Zakai, why can't we just appreciate the fact that we have two terrific freshman point guards that complement each other so well? That should be the conversation. Not saying, how is Kennedy a first-round pick and a one-and-done when Zakai is better than he is? That shouldn't be the conversation. The conversation should be that, man, Tennessee and Rick Barnes has two outstanding freshman point guards that complement each other well and are really starting to play their best basketball this second half of the season.
Yeah, I'm looking at the top rankings 2021 class that includes Chet Holmgren, and then Paulo Banchero, Jaden Sharp there at Kentucky, who's not played.
Well, he reclassified.
Yeah, not played yet. Amani Bates, who reclassified. Jalen Duran. But these are all 5-stars I'm looking at, man. And Caleb Houston there at Michigan is a 5-star. Peyton Watson, UCLA, 5-star. J.D. Davison, a 5-star. Tata Washington, a 5-star. Damian Collins at Kentucky's a 5-star. I'm looking at a lot of 5-stars, and
not many playing better than Kennedy.
Not many.
Chet Holmgren playing better than Kennedy. Yeah. He's also just simply better than Kennedy. He should be having a better season.
He's a unicorn.
And here's the other thing. In my opinion, not saying Chet will be the better pro prospect, pro player more than likely.
Who knows?
I kind of feel weird about his frame going into the league, but I don't know. We've seen other really skinny guys go in and beef up, and I mean KD was that skinny.
His game ain't like KD's. Though.
Oh, I'm not. No. I'm not trying to say that, but I mean his physique was, and KD was able to overcome that. Ja was skinny as all get out. But we'll see. But the skill is there with Chet Holmgren. I like Chet. And Paulo's been terrific this year.
Terrific.
Which he should have had a better year than Kennedy. Jabari Smith, same way in that conversation. And then Ty Washington, he's
been great.
Had a better season in totality than Kennedy, but he's just been really good. I mean, all the names that you listed off, I mean, it's really those three that stand out just off the top of my head that have definitively had better seasons than Kennedy.
Yeah, I think expectations were too high for Kennedy, to be honest. I mean, what we were expecting of Kennedy is what we are seeing from the guys that's going to be picked in the top 3.
Right.
Like
those three, Jabari, Chet, Paulo, going to be the top 3
Yeah,
picks.
but their impact on the team and their performances night in, night out, that's what we were expecting from Kennedy. And maybe that was a little unfair. But anyways, he had a great game against South Carolina. He is playing his best basketball at the right time. That's what matters. Yes, he's sliding down the mock drafts and the board and all that good stuff. But
he's still going to be a first-round pick.
He'll still
play
be
in the league for a long time.
Still be able to live out his dreams.
Yep. Do you think that I was going to say this when I mentioned Chet before we started talking about his physique? Even though like Chet is technically having the better year and the better prospect, I think Kennedy's getting more out of being at Tennessee than Chet being at Gonzaga because of the teams that they're playing. I think
competition.
Yes. I think Chet has been terrific, and he's going to get a lot of notoriety because Gonzaga has turned into a big blue blood, so there's going to be a lot of conversation around Gonzaga. But in terms of the competition that the two are playing, I mean, Kennedy is learning far more than Chet is. Like, Chet's not having that reality check that Kennedy had against Kentucky.
No. I mean, he gets to play with Drew Timme, who is, one of the best big men in the country.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you're not getting that night in, night out competition like you would in maybe a different conference.
You're not getting embarrassed in I don't even, not the Mountain West, what is it, the WAC?
It's the WAC.
I can't think off the top of my head what that stands for. But he's not getting anywhere near the competition on a night in, night out basis that
WCC is the West Coast Conference.
That's right, WCC.
Whatever that is.
He's not getting near the Kennedy has been humbled this year in a good way and has taken tremendous strides each time after being humbled because he works hard and he has a skill set, and Chet's going to be fine and he'll have those moments in the NBA, but I would say Kennedy's game has grown more this year than Chet's because he's had those humbling moments and has had to learn on the fly, where because of the level of competition that Chet's playing against in conference, I mean, he's not having those moments where he's humbled.
This dude is 7 foot and 190 pounds.
He is like, we talk about unicorns in basketball. He's truly a unicorn.
I watched a little bit of Gonzaga play.
I like his game. He's just his frame freaks me out a little bit.
Man, he looks fragile, very fragile.
Yes, it looks like if he takes one charge, he's out a month.
Man, ATL VFL says Springer should have stayed. Could be having a great year with KC. I mean, should have he stayed? I don't know. I mean, because yes, this game needs to develop, but that whole conversation about you stay so you can develop. Well, if someone is going to select you, is willing to select you and pay you to develop, why not take that rather than going back to school and going to class where you have less time to develop?
Right.
It's always my argument. So like Jake Springer could have had a better sophomore year than his freshman year, and yes, he wasn't a lottery pick, and there's a lot to his game that he needs to improve on. But my whole thing about basketball is you can do those things while being in the league, while being a professional. Sometimes physically you're not developed on the football field, and you need to develop in that area. But in basketball, we're talking skill sets and the maturity, and you can do all those things while still being paid. That's kind of how I look at it with basketball. Vol Van says, I will never have Bruce Pearl love like some Tennessee fans. What he did to his assistants when he convinced them to lie for him because he wanted to cover his own butt is unforgivable. He put them in a terrible situation. He lost his job, but got to sit on TV, make money as an analyst. His assistants were good people, ended up with show causes and had to work their way back up from the bottom. Yep, man, you had assistants working at JUCOs and having to live in dorm rooms to get back in. And I heard the story was about Steve Forbes, and don't think those guys will be exchanging any Christmas cards anytime soon. And what Forbes has done at Wake Forest has been amazing. And Bruce Pearl hurt a lot of people, man, in that process. And some people don't care about that, man. Some people are War Eagle Vols when it comes to Bruce Pearl. It's kind of weird and creepy.
Some of them are strange because they knock out the trifecta of being a Vol, a Tiger for Bruce, and a Rebel for Lane.
Yeah, I don't think we're seeing much of the Rebel for Lane, but we are seeing
we
Tiger for Bruce, which is kind of weird and disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
Whatever. Vol Gurias Cub says hopefully Keon gets more clock with the Blazers. Yep, he was part of a big-time trade before the trade deadline, and so he is now a Portland Trail Blazer, and it looks like they're going to probably have a rebuild, man. Damian Lillard may get shipped out by next season, and Keon's going to be on a team that's not going to win a lot of games. But he has the opportunity to get some clock, and hopefully he's able to take advantage of that.
That's such a weird conversation, and I don't really know what side I fall on. I struggled with that conversation with Keon and Jaden, and I'm going to struggle with it again with Kennedy, just in terms of whether they should leave or whether they should not leave. It's because, like, you see the benefit to them coming back to school.
What is the benefit?
Just continuing to grow their game. I think under Rick Barnes, you can develop your game. Like, one more year will absolutely benefit you, maybe more so than being bounced around between the G League and sitting on the end of the bench for an NBA team. Like Yves Pons, like right now he doesn't play in any of the pro games, and he's not really playing a ton for the G League team for the Grizzlies, so he's not getting a lot of minutes either way to develop his craft. At least coming back to school, you know for sure that you're going to be playing in games weekly, and I mean that's the biggest way to develop your game. I mean, and again, Rick Barnes is terrific with guards, and no doubt in my mind that Keon and Jaden and would have grown had they come back for a second year, and Kennedy the same way. But on the other side of that coin, I agree with you. And like, hey, you can get paid to go develop
LaMelo Ball
if you were drafted into the right situation. That's the other kicker and kind of the thing you obviously don't know about going into it. But there are absolutely benefits to coming back for another year. Like, I absolutely think now with Keon and Jaden, I thought that they should have left because I didn't think that they were going to be able to come back and really improve their draft stock a ton. I mean, they both ended up going 15-20 range. I mean, I thought that was
Keon was higher. I mean, Keon coming out this year would be top 10.
Assuming that his game took a step forward.
His jump shot would have improved. His ball handling would have improved. He would have had more athleticism, more explosion, playing faster inside of the system.
And him being traded to Portland on Friday is pretty telling, and not in a good way. Like the Clippers were willing to part with him for Robert Covington.
Robert Covington and oh man, what's my guy's name? Two shooters. They were trying to get over the hump right now.
Yes.
Like Keon's more of a tomorrow player for them.
Norman Powell.
Those guys get buckets, man.
Yeah. I'm not trying to say that they aren't good basketball players. Robert Covington, Norman Powell are good pro players, but they're not You shouldn't be trading your first round top 15 pick for them, is my point.
Yes, you should.
No, you should not. Those two.
You got Paul George, you got Kawhi Leonard. Like you're trying to win now. You're trying to get the guys that's gonna get you over the hump right now.
Your first round top 15 pick should be helping your team now, is what I am saying.
In football.
In basketball too. The Grizzlies, it's happening with the Grizzlies right now. Zaire Williams at 12th or whatever he was picked is helping the Grizzlies right now. Like your top 10, top 15 picks, that they should be helping you. You should not be trading them. Again, Norman Powell, Robert Covington, good players, great shooters that will help the Clippers. But your first round pick that was, I think he was in the top 15, should not be the guy. He was picked 21. He should not be the guy that you're trading immediately. Like if it's year 2, year 3, okay, but you're trading him before the All-Star break. I personally don't think that's necessarily the greatest sign for what the Clippers thought of Keon, because I assure you that if they thought he was truly going to be special, they're not partying with him. They're not.
Yeah, but they're trying to win right now.
I get it from their perspective. Again, I think those two players are good. I wanted Robert Covington on the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies need to add a shooter, and I was hoping maybe they could go get Robert Covington.
It actually looks good on Keon that they took Robert Covington and Norman Powell to execute that trade. I mean, it could be the opposite. Like, man, wow, it took throwing in Keon and another player and a pick. Keon could absolutely been balling and doing his thing, but the Clippers are set up to win now with Kawhi and Paul George. Tyronn Lue was brought in to win now. Like Steve Ballmer wants to win now. He's willing to do whatever it takes, spend whatever it takes to win now. And they'll worry about the future later. But
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
I think
Keon's in a better position because he'll be probably part of a rebuild, and he'll have opportunity to get a lot of shots and be a part of a new culture there under Chauncey Billups. So it's going to work out for Keon because he's made of the right stuff. He's going to work hard. And this game is about athletes in space, and Keon's one of the best in the business at that. So he'll be okay. But the conversation did go kind of over from Kennedy. Kennedy is playing well right now. He's playing his best basketball. The game looks a ton slower for him. And like Vol fan said in the text box, it's hard to come in and just play point guard.
Yes.
Like, it's hard to do that. What's also hard is when you have your program's most famous player get in trouble. And that's what happened with Alvin Kamara, who was arrested on battery charges after an event, a night out at a club in Las Vegas. According to the statement, it looks like he was arrested the day after the incident happened. I'm waiting on more details. Before making any serious judgments, but it's not a good look when you have the player on the Jumbotron, you have your most recognizable player from your school getting in trouble, getting arrested, but you are innocent until proven guilty. At least you should be. And did he beat up somebody that was messing with him? What happened? So not good, but waiting on those details. Hour one is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. HappyHiller.com.
Just because you can't call in doesn't mean that you have to sit on the sideline. Impact the show with a text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Litter is a big problem in Tennessee, but together we can do big things. We can make our cities, our waterways, our roads cleaner and safer. The Tennessee Department of Transportation is committed to reducing litter in our communities, but we need your help to do it. There are over 100 million pieces of litter in our roads at any given time, and it costs TDOT about $19 million a year just to clean it up. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these 3 simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at nobodytrashestennessee.com. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm, let us help. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Don't remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Woo! Y'all better put some respect on Josiah Jordan James's name. Playing his best game of the season against his home state team. I'm giving that a attaboy to Josiah Jordan James. 20 points. Shot was like butter from the outside. 4 of 9 from the three-point line. Just a great day for him at the office. 36 minutes, had more minutes than anybody else. Was efficient. 6 rebounds, no turnovers, 3 steals, 3 blocks. Man, led the team in a few different categories. Tied for steals, led in blocks, led second in rebounding, led in points. Man, Josiah had a game. So, attaboy to him. I know he has been struggling with his offensive game in the middle of the season, but man, right now he is playing lights out. So, congratulations to Josiah Jordan James. He gets my attaboy for today.
Yeah, I was going to go with Josiah as well. It was just...
Not bad.
Well, it's all good. The whole basketball team gets an attaboy. Everybody playing right now, aside from the other 5-star, is contributing and seem to be in a really good groove at the moment. So, I mean, we can highlight Kennedy, his double-double. He finished with 10 assists. How many points did he finish with? 11 or so?
Mm-hmm.
That again, I said it earlier. A double-double in college in 40 minutes, and you get the double-double because you had double-digit assists. That is really really impressive.
One turnover.
That's the best part, too. And look, South Carolina plays suffocating defense. They ain't worth ish on offense, but their defense is pretty good. And they suffocate you. It's physical. So to have one turnover against Frank Martin, I do think that is really impressive. But Kennedy obviously played well. Zakai was terrific. And how about Zakai knocking down those back-to-back threes and then going over to the bench and throwing up in the trash can? And then coming back out and continuing to play well. He gets an attaboy for his performance. Santi hitting open shots. You mentioned Josiah. Josiah is my favorite player on the team just because of who he is as a person. I've said this before. Now I can really say it now that I know I'm going to have a boy. I always said that if I ever have a boy, I want my son to grow up and be like Josiah Jordan James. And I still believe in that. Like, I will be thrilled if my son, and I'm not talking about the basketball player, obviously, but just the person, I will be thrilled if my son is like Josiah Jordan James, because he is just a terrific person. And I love seeing him have success because, quite frankly, I think he gets more – hate's too strong of a word, but I can't think of a different word to use. He criticized too much. There you go. To me, he gets too much unfair criticism. And he's had to deal a lot injury-wise over the course of his Tennessee career to this point. So to see him ball out in his home state, he had 33 tickets that he needed to round up, and his teammates and coaches helped him round up that many tickets for his family and friends to come see him play. And then he had a bag of cookies from grandma after the game. Just a really neat story. And Olivier Kamoi, man, I was telling you during the break, it was depressing to see his reaction to that injury. And I was surprised that it came out that it was an ankle that he's dealing with and not his Achilles.
Weird, man.
It sure did look like an Achilles injury. And I remember Mario Chalmers, when he was with the Grizz and he tore his Achilles, he had that same exact reaction.
Yep.
And same exact limp to the locker room. So
yep.
I was surprised and thrilled that it was just an ankle.
Yeah, man, it was weird. It was weird the way he looked at his foot. It was like he never experienced that type of pain before, or experienced like that sequence of events. Like, if you're an athlete as a 21 years old, 21 to 22 years old, you've had plenty of ankle sprains, especially in the game of basketball where you're jumping and you land on someone's foot, or you're driving the ball to the basket and your ankle just turns. You've been through plenty of ankle injuries. So it looked like he had never experienced an ankle injury before, his reaction. So I was a little –
But even on the replay, scared. You couldn't see anything.
I didn't see it turn.
And that's what really freaked me out. Is like you couldn't see a turn or a twist or whatever. You didn't see his ankle get hurt, and then he had the reaction that he did, and it looked like he could barely limp back to the locker room. And he has been playing tremendous defense all year. That block that he had was superb. I don't know if it was a top 10 play, but it should have been a top 10 play. That was tremendous. And I wrote a story on Thursday about how he's trying to find his identity and be that Swiss Army knife like Josiah, and also be a physical enforcer. And he's been playing that physical enforcer role all season, but the offense is finally starting to catch up. And that's why I was really bummed to see the injury. Obviously, hate it for him personally, but he was coming so far, and it really looked like things were starting to click for him, and then bam. So hopefully he doesn't miss any time. Hopefully, if he does have to miss time, he's back by – just have him back by Tuesday. Have him back by next Tuesday against Kentucky. You can obviously beat Vanderbilt at home on Saturday. Probably can beat Mississippi State without him, assuming everybody else plays their role. Just have him good to go by next Tuesday night against Kentucky.
That's it. That's what we need him, man. That's when we need him. A lot to get to for around the SEC. Got some movement, man, in the coaching circles that we will touch on coming up. 865-255-03. Hour one was brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Happy you'll be, or the service is free. That is the Happy Hiller guarantee. HappyHiller.com.
In this day and age, the way we work is changing and evolving. Businesses still moving forward despite your work location changing and supply shortages affecting a number of different areas. Office furniture is not immune to the halt in the supply chain. This is why Office Furniture Outfitters has purchased desks, chairs, and tables in bulk to provide you with in-stock options for your place of business, no matter if it's in an office building or at your house. Office Furniture Outfitters is the local supplier for Herman Miller, and they keep Aeron chairs in stock. They will come to your office, lay out, and make recommendations. No project is too big or too small. You can visit them on location at 17th Street and Grand Avenue in the Fort Sanders area, or online at ofonox.com, or give them a call at 865-524-3003. Office Furniture Outfitters, providing East Tennessee's biggest selection and best value for office furniture since 1995.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
Touchdown or turnover is up next on the Swain Event.
Hey there, Swain Event fam. I've been thinking about other ways I can assist you with the real estate world. As you know, it's not just about buying, selling, and investing in new property today. It's also being a resource when you need a contractor or roofer. Or maybe you need a real estate attorney to assist with probate questions. Or maybe you have a family member in Alabama that needs a realtor to help them sell their home and get the heck out of there and back to Tennessee. All of these things and more are in my wheelhouse. So give me a call, Jennifer Morris, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Hour two here in the Swain Event. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live from the Low T Center studio. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Let's get to the Irish Networks hotline. Let's bring in Coach S.A.J. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, Swain and Ben. I don't usually call in. I usually just text and listen to your show every day.
Thank you.
But I had such a great experience yesterday that I wanted to tell you about it. Hendon Hooker came to our church yesterday in Morristown and spoke to kids and just anybody that was there. Of course, he's written this book. But anyway, it's not hard to see why that young man is successful. Gosh, what a great young man. And he was just so good. Talked with his dad. It's not hard to see why. I talked with his dad and his mom, and boy, they're great people, really great people. And Hendon, he'd be successful if he was digging ditches. That's what kind of kid I saw yesterday. Just super young man.
Yeah, Tennessee got lucky with Hendon for sure.
Oh, he was outstanding. Boy, a lot bigger kid than I thought he was. Just watching him on tape and stuff, and seeing him playing games. But gosh, up next to him, he's close to 6'5". He's a big kid. He really is. But his dad it was funny. I asked his dad some questions. His dad said Coach Heupel got on him one time early last season because he was wiping his hands on the towel too much. Said it took too long to do that. I thought that was funny.
Oh yeah, man. Hendon, and I heard about him speaking. I know I've gotten 2 other people besides yourself reach out, and before he spoke, they were promoting the event. I know people that reached out to me were super, super excited, pumped about it. That might be a big church, man, because you're the third person from the same church that I've talked to about.
Yeah, it's a big church. We've got close to 3,000 people in the church, but he and I thought what a great support system he has. His dad and mom and his sister and his brother came, and they drove all the way from North Carolina to be with him yesterday at church. And his mom asked if she could worship with us. We said, "What do you mean you're here? You can worship with us anytime if you come to Morristown." But I just was so impressed with him. And his dad said that you ain't seen anything yet. He said they didn't even do a fourth of the playbook last year. He said they're really working on it now. He said he's got time to throw those receivers this summer. Said I'm looking for bigger and better things out of him. So it was just a great experience I had with him yesterday. I just wanted to call and say that and tell you I listen to your show every day. And
that's right.
I always know I'm gonna get great information, man. That's why I do. Don't always agree, and we never should. I don't guess, but you know more than I do, buddy, about it. So I rely on y'all quite a bit.
We don't take that lightly, man. We really don't, Coach S.A.J. We've broke bread before, and, met up there at Dead End Barbecue during signing day and had some nice conversations. And, we understand there's a lot of people that listen to this program and rely on us for information. And this is why we want to make sure that you're getting good information. And we're going to work our tails off to make sure that we get it and it's right, that it's fair. And so we don't take that lightly, Coach S.A.J. Thank you so much for calling and sharing that with us. Throw Hendon on Attaboy. That's what Hendon is passionate about. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've done
more important than football too.
Yeah, we've done events where Hendon was a part of, and he did a good job. But just talking to him, what he did over the weekend at church, that's what he gets excited about. That's his passion, which is why he put out that book, the scriptures book for young kids. That's his passion. And like I said before, Tennessee is lucky to have someone like Hendon leading the program. Yep. We've been fortunate the last couple of years with Josh Dobbs and Hendon Hooker. So Hendon should be on preseason Heisman watch list, but He doesn't care about that. He just cares about getting better every day. And what his dad said to Coach SAJ is significant, because if the playbook is going to expand, that means Hendon's game is going to expand, and he's gotten better at doing some things. I think when you have a player show that they can do something very, very well, then you play towards their strengths. And I thought Heupel did that last year. I thought there was a reason why we didn't throw the ball in the middle of the football field a lot on slants and digs and things like that. It could be Hendon's not comfortable doing it, or our receivers are not comfortable doing it. It's certainly a part of the game where we've seen other teams do it to us. So if we see an expansion of the playbook, we see expansion of the route tree, that means that our receivers and our quarterbacks are showing the coaches that they can do it, they can handle it. And Hendon's game, what he wants to show the NFL scouts is that he can make all the throws. He can throw with anticipation. He can throw in tight windows. He can throw on the outside along with running the football. So to hear that from Coach SAJ about Hendon's dad, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I am too. And an update on Olivier Kamoi. Rick Barnes joined Chris Lowe and Austin Price on The Nation last night and said that Olivier had an MRI, and they are waiting to find out the results of that MRI. But Rick said that Olivier told him that he'll be fine. So seems like that situation is going to end up being okay.
If I was Rick Barnes, I would slap Olivier upside the back of his head. He did all that, man, to just be fine.
Yeah, but
I mean, you know how basketball players are, man.
Well, you also know how athletes are. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. When sometimes they don't end up being fine. Their mind can say one thing, but the body's going to tell them
that's true too.
Another. So we'll
you're
see.
Right.
And I mean, obviously, it was something. I mean, you don't go get an MRI just for the sake of getting in the MRI.
Yeah.
So
no, you're right.
We'll see. Hopefully, it ends up being okay.
Put him in a boot, bring him back out, make sure he's ready for Kentucky.
Yes, we definitely don't need him against Vanderbilt. But I would like to have Olivier Wednesday night against Mississippi State. That would be ideal. But
I got a feeling we're gonna see him before then.
Before Mississippi State?
Before Kentucky.
I hope so. But even there's no need to play him against Vanderbilt.
I mean, we barely beat Vanderbilt when we had them.
I guess that's true. And Vanderbilt
They play their best against us, man. They scrappy against us.
And they did just beat LSU by double digits.
Ooh, woo!
I know you enjoyed that.
I loved it. There's not a team I root against more than LSU.
Alabama?
There's not a team I root against more than LSU.
Sad.
LSU's the team I root against the most. Because of Will Wade. Ain't got nothing to do with the players. It's Will Wade. It's what I know about Will Wade. It's what we've seen about Will Wade. Seen from Will Wade is Will Wade. But that Kentucky-Alabama game, you just watch that game. You don't have to root for anybody. That is possible, Ben. You can watch a game without rooting for somebody.
It is not possible for me.
So you was rooting for Kentucky?
In which game?
Alabama, Kentucky.
Yes.
Lose. What? Huh? Wait.
I wanted Kentucky to beat Alabama. So, yes, I was rooting for Kentucky.
Man.
I would rather Alabama lose than Kentucky lose in that particular game, yes. Because I deal with Alabama fans every single day, and I want them to be miserable because they like to rub it in my face that Tennessee football is miserable.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was rooting. I'm man enough to where I can admit it. I'm confident in my fandom.
Okay.
To where I can admit that.
Okay. Downtown Falls says we had the Minister of Defense and Reggie White. What kind of spiritual name are we giving Hendon? I mean, he's the Minister of Tempo.
The Minister of Quarterbacking.
Yeah, you can go with that, man.
The quarterback pastor.
You got Deacon Barnes. It could be Deacon Hooker. It could be Brother Hooker.
Yeah. I say Deacon Hendon instead of Deacon Hooker.
Hey, man. What it all works for him. It all works for him. Ash says the Kamara situation could be a misunderstanding like Aaron Donald's situation last year. It seems out of character for AK. Well, Aaron Donald did not get arrested. You had somebody with a lawyer get on TV and make all these accusations and then had to apologize because it wasn't true, where Alvin actually got arrested. So
I'm not laughing at that.
The victim was in a hospital. So I'm waiting to see what happened, because from what we have seen from Alvin, and I throw in what I've seen from Alvin, talking to him like personally, it's hard for me to believe that Alvin will go start something. Like, he'll finish it, but he's not aggressive like that, where he starts something. Now, something happened to where he struck a nerve, and obviously he put some hands on somebody to the point where that person was hurt and had to go to the hospital. But I'm reserving judgment. Reverend Cinco.
I like Downtown Vols' suggestion of Holy Hooker.
Holy Hooker. I like Holy Hooker too.
I do like Reverend Cinco. We don't talk enough about Hendon's nickname. Hendo Cinco is a great name. It's a great nickname. It is.
You're not supposed to give yourself nicknames, though. That's the rule.
I gave it to him.
No, he didn't. He gave it to himself.
I started saying it back in the season before anybody else was saying it.
Yeah, but he gave it to himself.
I don't care.
You're not supposed to give yourself nicknames.
When you are that good, you are allowed to give yourself your own nickname. Is Michael Jordan allowed to give himself his own nickname?
Well, this is a nickname.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if he woke up this morning and said, you know what, I want a new nickname to add to the list. Or Shaq. Shaq has a million nicknames. If he woke up today and was like, I'm going to add another nickname to the list. Are Shaq and MJ allowed to give themselves nicknames? I feel like they have certainly earned the right to give themselves their own nickname. Like, you reach a certain status, you can call yourself whatever you want.
I'm not saying the nickname is bad. I'm just saying nickname rules say you're not supposed to give it to yourself. Somebody else is supposed to give it to you.
Ooh, Vol Nation has a good one. Hallelujah Hooker.
Hallelujah Hooker. Oh, man. Oh, goodness. Okay, Ben. Ben is a Volcat confirmed.
You know it.
Big Bad Voodoo Nate.
Let's go. You know it.
Kentucky winning hurts our seeding in the NCAA tournament. So Ben must not be a real Tennessee fan. Here we go. Here we go. Josiah drank some of that special water that Michael Jordan offered the Looney Tunes in Space Jam from Southwest Virginia Vol. Swain, would you take Will Wade to Tennessee? No. Nope. Nope.
I would not either. Now, what I have that relationship at LSU, I think, is going to end miserably at some point, because if he starts to lose quite often, he will quickly annoy the heck out of that fan base. Like, they're willing to put up with Will Wade's personality if he's winning, but the moment he starts to lose pretty consistently, he will get on their very last nerve.
It's all about losing and winning. That's why they were willing to deal with that crap with the NCAA, the FBI, because he was winning, and they was willing to back him. How much are they going to be willing to back him if he went out and got Efton Reed, who was a 5-star, brought in one of the league's best players,
and he does not look like a 5-star.
No, but he brings in one of the best guards in the SEC from Missouri and Pinson, Xavier Pinson. And you got all these other pieces, and you're getting blown out by Vanderbilt, and you're looking terrible right now. You're basically falling apart, and you're 2 games below 500. Let's see how much patience and willingness LSU is willing to back you when the FBI is looking at you, when the NCAA is looking at you. If you're losing, that's a whole nother ball game. Ask Pruitt. 865-255-03. Shout out to Zakai Ziegler, John Fulkerson over the weekend. They had an NIL event there at Dick's Sporting Goods, and I got some nice feedback from grandparents and parents that took their kids to that event, thanks to an anonymous listener that bought a couple tickets for us to give away and give to kids. And so got some nice feedback from the event. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool event, playing gotcha with a couple of Tennessee basketball players.
Knockout,
whatever, man. It's gotcha to me. It's gotcha. That's what I'm going to call it. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm calling it gotcha. But yeah, knockout, whatever. 865-255-03. Stay with us. Be right back.
The conversation doesn't stop when the show is over. Follow the Swain Event on Twitter and like the show on Facebook.
Fellas, when it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's only one play to make, and that's to go see my friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in small batch denim in the heart of Knoxville. Denim isn't all they do though. Mark Nelson also does custom suiting and blazers. Let your personal style shine with Mark Nelson. If you don't have time to go shopping for yourself but still want that fresh look, then sign up for the MN Society. Let the experts handle the shopping and get $300 worth of merchandise for just $150 every other month. That's 6 times per year to keep you looking styling every day. Let Mark Nelson Denim help you be the best you, because when you look good, you feel good. Go to marknelsondenim.com. When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Litter is a big problem in Tennessee, but together we can do big things. We can make our cities, our waterways, our roads cleaner and safer. The Tennessee Department of Transportation is committed to reducing litter in our communities, but we need your help to do it. There are over 100 million pieces of litter in our roads at any given time, and it costs TDOT about $19 million a year just to clean it up. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these 3 simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at nobodytrashestennessee.com. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Top 100 Barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue, the search is over.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy. If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill, or call 865-693-5400.
There are articles and news stories that you read about the things that people do. And when you're reading those and you start to shake your head, you start to scratch your head a little bit, you get confused, you don't understand why, you start to ask questions. But really, there's only one question that matters. What is that question, you may ask?
For what?
Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Remember a couple days ago when former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores dropped that lawsuit on the NFL for unfair hiring practices, and the NFL came out and, quickly came out. Same day, within hours, came out and said that the lawsuit against the league was without merit. That was only a couple days ago. Recently, the NFL sent a memo to the NFL, to the clubs, and had to remind them that the hirings of the head coach and the results have been unacceptable. Now, which one is it? NFL. We have made significant efforts to promote diversity and adopted numerous policies and programs which have produced positive changes in many areas. However, we must acknowledge that particularly with respect to head coaches, the results have been unacceptable. A couple days ago, you said that what he was claiming was without merit. Pick one, NFL. You get it for what today? Also, the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes.
The Brooklyn Nets get it for what? Because they have lost 8 straight games.
Love to see
the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie Irving, with Kevin Durant, with James Harden. That trio of players, and right now, if the playoffs started today, the Brooklyn Nets would be in the play-in game to be the last seed in the East. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What is going on with the Nets? What's going on with the Nets, man?
They don't have winning basketball players aside from Kevin Durant. I am a KD fan, but James Harden is a loser, and Kyrie Irving does not care enough about basketball.
The worst losing streak in the NBA. Second longest losing streak, Portland Trail Blazers. First, that goes to the Brooklyn Nets. So, my goodness. 865-255-03.
You and I were talking during the break, and it's like it was pretty easy to see when the James Harden trade happened that it wasn't going to work out in terms of like winning a championship. Like it was a rational thought to be like, oh, that's not going to work out. James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant, 3 of the biggest drama queens in the NBA together. Oh, that's not going to work out. I sat up here and peed on that idea. But I didn't think that we'd be sitting here giving them for losing 8 straight games and being in 9th place and in the play-in game. And you rattled off to me some of the teams that they have more losses than, and it's the bottom of the barrel in the NBA. I mean, it's pretty bad. I didn't think it'd work out. I didn't think it'd work out this bad. Not work out this bad.
Oh, I got third for what? Third for what goes to the Pro Bowl.
Mac Jones doing the gritty. Mac Jones, don't ever do that again. Okay. He looked nice with it.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. But
the Pro Bowl's a waste of time.
It's time. Get rid of the Pro Bowl. I would rather watch the Pro Bowlers sit at a round table and talk about football rather than play football. Like, if you're not going to play the game the right way, then don't play it at all. Like, football is not a game where you can go half speed. It's not a game. It is a full contact, full speed game. And the highlights I saw from the Pro Bowl was downright embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
It's downright embarrassing. Just get rid of the game. Just have them talk about the game. That will be more entertaining for me than actually seeing them play half speed. Football's not a game for half speed. It's not. So, please, NFL, do something with the Pro Bowl. Get rid of it. Had the Senior Bowl over the weekend, and Tennessee had 3 players in the Senior Bowl, and Velus Jones, Cade Mays, and Alontae Taylor. Alontae Taylor had a pick. One of our touchdown turnovers from last week was, does Velus get a touchdown or Alontae get an interception?
You're right. I was wrong.
Yeah, man. And I won't gloat too much about, being right, because it wasn't the best rep from Alontae. Even though he got the interception, he was beat by 5 yards, and the ball was on the throne. And Alontae still will have to answer about his hips and things like that, being able to change directions. And
in the clip, you could hear Charles Davis talking, yeah, he's probably going to move to safety.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Alontae gets some credit for recovering and making a play on the ball. Yeah. But, I mean, he was burnt toast on that play. And if the quarterback, I don't even know who threw the ball. Do you know which quarterback it was? If he hits him in stride, then, I mean, we're not talking about Alante in a good way at the moment. But you heard Charles Davis in the clip talking about how he's probably going to move to safety. So that was pretty telling.
Hey, if it works out and that's his best position and he plays a long time in the NFL, that's all that matters. So
yes, and he's going to get a shot, and there's no reason Alante can't be. The teams typically carry like a third or sometimes 4 safeties. How many safeties do you think a team carries? 3 or 4? You have your 2 starters, obviously, but typically only carry like a third.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Special teams players.
Yes. The NFL is weird with finagling its numbers to get the roster crunch because you have a 53-man roster, and then you only dress out like 45, 46 of those.
No, you dress out all 53.
But then it's 50. There's guys that sit out. I just don't know what that number is. So you have like 58 or so.
They actually allowed more because of COVID and stuff over the last 2 years. But our safety is a position that you can play special teams. So they're not going to take a third, maybe a third quarterback 1 week and bring up a safety from the practice squad, depending on injuries and things like that. So the bottom line is, like, Alante Taylor has a chance.
And the point that I was making in referencing, because some teams also carry more corners than safeties, but those corners can also maybe slide over and play safety in an emergency situation. Heck, safety, like Alante, could slide over and play corner in emergency situation. The point that I was making is that there's no reason Alante, at minimum, can't be that third or fourth safety on a team for several years. There's no reason that he can't do that. So he's going to get an opportunity, and I hope that he makes the most out of it.
He should. He should, man. He's played the best conference in the land for all 4 years, and he's went up against some really, really good receivers in his time. So here's what you're referring to. NFL teams are allowed 53 players on the roster, but only 46 can suit up for a game since the active roster rules changed in 2011. Another recent change was the decision to increase practice squads from 10 players to 10 players from 6. So that's probably what you were referring to there. But, again, Alante Taylor has a chance just because it didn't work out the way maybe he thought it would work out at corner at Senior Bowl. There's some other qualities that he can show that can impress the coaches enough to say, hey, this is a guy that we see him as a safety. We see that he carries, some characteristics that are perfect for a safety. Remember, Cam Sutton was a corner here at Tennessee, and he doesn't play 100% corner on the outside at Pittsburgh. They put him in different places. So maybe Alante Taylor will be that. And hopefully he is, man. Him being successful in the league is good. It's good for Tennessee at the end of the day. Velus had a nice day. Had a couple catches. Had a nice 30-yard corner route. Nice route against a really good player. So he had a good day. Cade had an up and down week. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I heard Velus had kind of an inconsistent week. He would flash at times, and then there were other times where he kind of struggled. So inconsistent. It was also a tough week at the Pro Bowl, or the Pro Bowl, the Senior Bowl. Really bad weather. 2 days during the week, and listening to some analysts that were down there, they were pretty emphatic that on the second day of practice, it was practically a monsoon, and that it should have been moved inside. Like they should have practiced inside, and it was, and they were more so talking about the quarterbacks. It was really hard for the quarterbacks to do anything, but I mean, Velus is going to be affected by the quarterbacks as well. So it seems like it was a tough week of practice, and there's another day with bad weather. And at my hotel that I was staying at for the wedding, I was in Daphne, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And
powerhouse.
Yes, over by Spanish Fort, which is where my two friends played high school football And I mean that entire area. I didn't realize how big like the Mobile area is. Like I thought the wedding was in Mobile, but I was in Daphne, and it just kind of, I mean, there's all like subsections of Mobile in that area. I didn't realize how big the area was. But where I was staying, I ran into, after the wedding, a man on the elevator. He offered me a honey bun. I was like, I'm good, thanks though. But and then somehow he transitioned to, we were at the Senior Bowl today, and came back and got honey buns. I don't know, but we got on the Senior Bowl. I was like, oh, how'd it go? I didn't get to watch any of it, and he said that it was because they didn't really have great practices because of the weather throughout the week. That it was kind of sloppy football and just kind of ho hum, and you could tell that nobody really knew the plays all that well. So sounds like it was a tough week of practice because of the circumstances, which obviously impacts how each individual performs.
It's tough, man. You got to learn a whole new playbook in a week.
Yeah. three practices.
Yeah, I mean.
They practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't think that they practiced on Friday. I mean, probably they had a walkthrough, but I don't know, like legit coverage of practice at the Senior Bowl. I think it was just those 3 days.
Yeah, you got to forget everything that you've learned for 1, 2, 3, 4 years in college, and then for a week you learn some brand new terminology, and you got to go out there and do it full speed. So those All-Star games in college, man, those are different. I remember having to do that, in the high school All-American game. Learning a brand new playbook in a week, and doing it 3, 4, 5 years later. Yeah, you're more mature. You understand concepts a little bit better, but it's still hard, still difficult. Shane A. from Jeff County says, I have been wanting Alante to move to safety since sophomore year. It's better for his skill set. He can tackle, and with his speed, he can go after the ball. ATF VFL says, I think Alante should come back this year at safety. Basically what ATF VFL says is that he wants Alante to come back because he wants more help in the secondary.
Too late.
I think Alante is going to be okay leaving right now and finding a good team to play with and for, and then move the safety there. He'll be all right. Let's get to the phones, 865-255-03. And who we got?
Big Orange Mac.
Mac, good morning, man.
Good morning, Jay Swizzle. Good morning, Papa Benjamin.
Good morning, Big Orange Mac.
Congratulations.
Thank you, King. How are you?
All right. Benjamin, Shaquille McKee.
The coldest.
The coldest McKee. Hey, man, I'm going to speak on this AK thing real quick, man. Listen, AK is laid back like Cadillac.
Yep.
I just don't see him just randomly kicking somebody's rear end unless he was provoked. I'm going to share a little quick story. One night I was downtown Nashville, and I'm walking up Second back to my truck, and right there on the corner where Hooters used to be, I seen like a group of people. There was a bunch of yapping going on. So when I got up there, I kind of poked my head in the circle and said, oh, hell, it's Lindale. What's going on, man? It's Lindale White and his entourage. And this chick, man, she was just yapping, just giving him all kinds of stuff, and I said, man, Lindale, what's wrong with her? He said, oh, man, just a bird yapping. I was like, she just the old local chicken head. She just mad her baby daddy didn't make it past JV, and she mad. And so everybody, got to laughing. People like to mess with celebrities where, for, I don't know, whatever reason, I don't know if it's jealousy or they trying to get a charge. People do it all the time. I witnessed it myself downtown Nashville. So I just don't see AK just randomly kicking somebody's tail, just for the heck of it. AK had to have been provoked because that dude is just, he's so chill.
He's so chill.
So I'm like you, Jay. They said, well, wait for the facts to come out. Wait for the details to come out. So I'm waiting. So, it's Vegas, those guys, the season's over, letting their hair hang down, whatever. Something had to spark that, and I'm like you. I'm waiting for the details. Gentlemen, y'all have a great day. Papa Ben, I'm so excited for being it. When I seen that blue smoke, I'm like, yes. And nothing wrong with the girl. Nothing wrong with the girl.
Nope.
I'm like, yes, a boy, yes. I'm hyped. I was so hyped for being it.
I appreciate you.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Means more than you know, and you could tell by my reaction and my little fist pumps that I was.
You should be.
I would have been equally as thrilled with a girl. I truly would have been. I mean, from the moment I saw pink smoke, that little girl would have had me wrapped around her finger, and I would have been over the moon to be a girl dad. I would have loved to join the team. I hope one day I do join the team. I want to have a girl one day, but I don't know. There's just something about a boy, and I guess it's because I'm a boy. I don't know. And I think the main thing is, like, I know I love sports so much, and if my son doesn't love sports, if he wants to go be in the band, that's perfectly fine with me. Whatever he wants to do, but you best believe he's getting signed up for football if Mama says so, for baseball, everything. I just, like I said earlier, I can't wait to just throw the football with him and throw the baseball with him and just just go shoot basketball and
dad things.
Dad things.
Yeah,
I just can't wait. Now, but my wife also reminded me, and all of our female friends reminded me, that little boys love their mama. So maybe I should have preferred the girl so that I could have had a daddy's girl instead of a mama's boy.
That is true, man. That is true. Yeah, thanks for the call, Big Orange Mac. You know, Kamara he's a principled man. That's for sure. You know, he believes in what he believes in. He's not wavering. He is laid back. He is chill. From everything that I've seen publicly and in my conversations talking with Kamara privately, this doesn't seem like him unless somebody did something to him first. But we'll let the facts come out and then go from there. But Big Orange Mac is right. Celebrities get tested all the time because folks are trying to provoke you to do something so they can get their payout. And they try to bait you. You got to understand that. You know, pro athletes, males, you get females that, man, they going to throw down that thirst trap. You got to be careful. You go into a club or a bar or whatever, and there's guys that throw out that trap with pushing you in the club or talking aggressive to you to try to get you to do something. So, but Alvin knows that, man. He knows that. Something must have happened where he was like, man, I don't care. This dude deserves it. I ain't letting it slide. Something happened. Don't know what it was, but
that was my first thought.
Alvin knows that he's been able to keep his nose clean, not get in trouble for a very, very long time since
Alabama.
The beginning of Alabama. He doesn't go out a ton, didn't in the NFL, and now he's going out because of the Pro Bowl. So
my first thought when I woke up at 6 o'clock and had like 4 or 5 text messages and tweets shared with me and notifications on my phone about Alvin being arrested for beating somebody up, my first thought was somebody did something to Alvin. Mm-hmm. That was at first I was kind of blurry-eyed waking up and whatnot. At first I was worried that it was a female that was involved, but once I realized it was not a domestic violence type of incident, I was relieved. B, my initial thought was somebody did something to Alvin, because this does not sound like Alvin, and he has kept his nose clean since the Alabama era of his career. And even at Alabama, it wasn't necessarily that like he did anything like to get in trouble. It was just kind of being immature and not handling his business and just being a kid out of high school.
Yeah, he was immature. Yeah,
that's what got him in trouble. So I'm with Swain. I'm letting the details come out before I form an opinion. But unfortunately, in today's society, you don't necessarily have your day in court anymore. You don't. Just like the Brian Harsin incident down at Auburn. Everybody on Friday morning was claiming this affair with a staffer he brought from Boise State, And
people ran with that, boy.
They look, and I was in the car for 16 hours this weekend. 5 hours to Mobile from Huntsville, 5 hours back, and then 3 hours, 3.5 from my house to my parents' house. I listened to a lot of podcasts this weekend, and a lot of it about Auburn. And I mean, 4 or 5 different people from around the SEC was stern in saying that there was no validity to that from what they had heard at that point, that was truly something that was being made up to run him out of town. But what's the saying? The public court of opinion, like he's already been charged as guilty.
It reminded me of Jim McElwain humping the shark.
Yes.
I mean, it was
Tennessee in the McDonald's bags. Like none of it was true. At least to the point that what's his name?
Dan Patrick.
Dan Patrick made it seem like.
Yeah, that's why we didn't run with that on the show, just because I had not heard from anybody credible, and I just didn't think that was fair to that young lady, and it wasn't fair to Harsin, because he's married now. If he's not married, and I mean he got 2 grown-ups, it's not necessarily the best work environment. It's not the best professional practice to having a relationship with your assistant, but the fact that he was married and young lady, you just didn't want to promote rumors and things like that on this platform. Now you got some other folks, you got some people on Twitter that they don't have a platform. They just dare to crack jokes. I get it, but like in our situation, it just wasn't responsible to be promoting those rumors, which is really irresponsible, not fair to those parties. Now, there is some smoke.
Yes, and not necessarily regarding the Harsin
the relationship,
right? But the public court of opinion has already been made. And people have already, thought of him as guilty, and like that. That's something that unfortunately will always live with him because Auburn is trying to push him out.
Yeah, the smoke is what I'm referring to, not about the made up relationship. The smoke is about the fact that the decision makers at Auburn are thinking about getting rid of him, to the point where you have former Auburn players and current Auburn players commenting. One, Smoke Monday is questioning what type of dude he was. And then you have current Auburn players that want to speak to the board trustees and the president because they want to vouch for Harsin. You have fans at Toomer's Corner, they're supporting Brian Harsin. It's
a mess.
It's a mess. It's so weird. And then the president's like, hey, we're going to make a decision. So now Harsin's future is just hanging in the ballots publicly. It's just really, really weird. So, yeah, if he comes back this next year, who's to say if he doesn't win 10 games that he's going to be back the year after that? If I'm Brian Harsin, I'm getting out of there. I'm getting out of there ASAP.
Yes, I am completely with you. I don't there's too much smoke to say that Brian Harsin is completely innocent. But at the end of the day, I think more blame falls on Auburn University, the town of Auburn, and everybody associated with Auburn. The powers that be at Auburn they did not want Alan Green to hire Brian Harsin in the first place. They hated the hire from the moment that he was hired. And Brian Harsin does not like to do the functions and kiss babies and sign autographs that come with being a head coach. So he has rubbed people and boosters that want their hands shaken when they're at practice. Brian Harsin don't like doing all that. And so you already, folks didn't like you when you were hired just because they just simply didn't like you. I don't think that they had a legitimate reason. You weren't the one that they wanted, and therefore they just did not like you for that simple, stupid reason. And then you add in the fact that, again, Harsin doesn't like doing the whole kissing baby type of thing and dealing with boosters, and he's rubbed people the wrong way in that regard. And now that there's this slight opening that, Auburn can really take it and run with it and try to force him out, they are. So I'm not saying that Brian Harsin is going to go on to be some great head football coach, but I think that this is more indicative of Auburn than it is Brian Harsin.
Auburn's like, hey, we want you to come in and change stuff because we're tired of the way it was before with Gus Malzahn. We want you to change stuff. Brian Harson's like, all right, well, I'm going to start changing stuff. No. Don't change it like that. What do you want then? You want him to change it, but he's changing it. I think all the transfers have raised a red flag for Auburn decision makers, and I think that is fair. Like, when you have a ton of players leave after year one, your producing players want to leave, then that's a red flag. But Harsin, in talking with Chris Lowe, ESPN, he said this place is not going to be a championship program until we change some things. I don't know how he knows what a championship program looks like, but he says you got to let the head coach be the head coach and support him. Those words were aimed straight at those decision makers, at those boosters and donors.
And Auburn's in a real bad spot in terms of its administration and people that matter the most. They don't really like their president. I think they just voted in a new president or something along those lines. Alan Green, it's known publicly that he has been trying to get out of there and find a new job. I listened to Chris Lowe on Feinbaum on Friday. I listened to the AL.com guy.
He's willing to be a number 2 somewhere else.
Yes, because he wants out of Auburn. Because the boosters and the leadership is just so bad. Paul Feinbaum, I've never heard this before. And granted, I don't listen to Paul. I listen to the interviews Paul does. I don't listen to his show.
It's okay, man. You can like Paul. He's a PFL.
I do like Paul. He is. Every young journalist should go listen to how Paul Feinbaum conducts interviews. But I've never heard Paul mention boosters by names, and he was mentioning like Auburn's top boosters that are getting in the way down there, and I thought that was very telling.
That's when you know it's real, man.
Yes,
that's when you know it's real, when boosters' names are being mentioned.
Yes, and so there's a lot of smoke to where like Brian Harsin deserves some of this blame. You've had, like you said, Smoke Monday saying that he treated the players like dogs. But then you also have had other key players of that team come out and say, no, he's getting rid of all the cancers. Their defensive tackle, Tony Fair, said last night in a pinned letter that he posted on Twitter that what Brian Harsin is doing is giving chemo to get rid of all the cancers on the team. And you had several players say that Harsin was what Auburn needed. They didn't need a friend.
Mm-hmm. A football coach.
They needed a football coach, and he's not meant to be your mama or your daddy. So it's an interesting dynamic. Auburn is they're in a bigger mess than Tennessee was, or as big, because I mean they don't have any NCAA issues, but the issues that they have going on are equally as big. Because at least Tennessee's gonna like get over this NCAA hump at some point. I mean, it just kind of seems like it's gonna be a revolving door until some people get out of the way there at Auburn.
Tennessee's in a better place right now. Because you have a coach that the factions of the fan base, of the donors, they're actually together to try to help Heupel. So they're working together more now than previous couple coaches. So I don't know how Auburn really overcomes this, because man, they're looking at potentially getting a new AD, new head coach if this thing is going to work, and then you are in the same state as Alabama. Whew, it just adds another level to it. So, but at least they got basketball. They're a basketball school right now, and a gymnastics
until Tennessee beats them.
Basketball and gymnastics right now.
Josiah's coming for your neck, Bruce.
Swain Event, Hour 3 coming up.
Segment 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
You don't say!
Fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
In this day and age, the way we work is changing and evolving. Businesses still moving forward despite your work location changing and supply shortages affecting a number of different areas. Office furniture is not immune to the halt in the supply chain. This is why Office Furniture Outfitters has purchased desks, chairs, and tables in bulk to provide you with in-stock options for your place of business, no matter if it's in an office building or at your house. Office Furniture Outfitters is the local supplier for Herman Miller, and they keep Aeron chairs in stock. They will come to your office, lay out, and make recommendations. No project is too big or too small. You can visit them on location at 17th Street and Grand Avenue in the Fort Sanders area, or online at ofonox.com, or give them a call at 865-524-3003. Office Furniture Outfitters, providing East Tennessee's biggest selection and best value for office furniture since 1995.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to hamptoninn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill, or call 865-693-5400.
Fellas, when it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's only one play to make, and that's to go see my friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in small batch denim in the heart of Knoxville. Denim isn't all they do though. Mark Nelson also does custom suiting and blazers. Let your personal style shine with Mark Nelson. If you don't have time to go shopping for yourself but still want that fresh look, then sign up for the NN Society. Let the experts handle the shopping and get $300 worth of merchandise for just $150 every other month. That's 6 times per year to keep you looking styling every day. Let Mark Nelson Denim help you be the best you, because when you look good, you feel good. Go to marknelsondenim.com. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
All right, it's time for Around the SEC. Hour 2 was brought to you by Action 247, Tennessee's only legal sports book. Use the promo code Swain Event. This is for new customers only. 100% deposit match up to $800. So your first deposit up to $800 match. You can do that using the promo code Swain Event. Download the app, the Action 247 app, where you can manage and place bets right there from your phone. It's time for Around the SEC. Being a lot went on over the weekend. Let's knock it out.
Yes, let's start with basketball, where Auburn, as we mentioned earlier, squeaked out a 74-72 win over Georgia in Athens. Tennessee beat South Carolina 81-57. Tennessee probably the most impressive team on Saturday, but also have to take in level of competition into consideration. But nice road win for the Vols. And Tennessee has not always looked good on the road this year. That's the best that they've looked in a true road environment this year.
Best all season. Yep.
Florida, with Colin Castleton back in the mix, came back and beat Ole Miss 62-57 in overtime. Colin Castleton had 17 points. So Florida picks up a win over Ole Miss. Missouri beat Texas A&M 70-66 on the road. That was surprising.
All right, Conzo, we see you.
And then Vanderbilt, on the night that it retired Shane Foster's number 32 jersey, defeated LSU by 9. I've been saying double digits all morning, but that was because Vanderbilt led by double digits for most of that game. They were up 43-25 at halftime. 18-point lead at halftime over LSU. Terrible. They go on to win 75-66. Kentucky took care of business against Alabama, 66-55.
Undisciplined Alabama.
Yes.
Can't make any shots.
There's an inside joke there. Yes.
I mean, they were. J.D. Davidson was atrocious.
Yes. And it makes sense when you go back and watch his high school highlight film and all you see is dunks. You can get away with that in high school, not necessarily college. And there's also been this viral tweet going around about a Alabama fan who was rocking. It was an Alabama jersey, right?
Yeah, he had a Kentucky hat on,
a backwards UK flat bill, and then an Alabama jersey on. And then later in the game, he had a Kentucky jersey on.
Man, get him out of here.
I sent it to my group text.
Boo that man.
With my Bama buddies. And my buddy hit me back and said, sounds about right. We used to always have a handful of students show up wearing Kentucky stuff whenever they were in Tuscaloosa.
Weird. I don't know how people can do it.
Because people just are not good people. That's
or bad fans. How about that?
Not good people. your fandom says a lot about you as a person. And then Arkansas beat Mississippi State 63-55. And following the action on Saturday, Swain mentioned this earlier in the show. Arkansas and Tennessee still tied for third and fourth. Both teams 7-3 in conference play. Kentucky 8-2 in second. Auburn 10-0 in conference play now. And then after Arkansas and Tennessee, Mississippi State is fifth at 5-4. Florida is back to 500 in the league at 5-5. They are sixth. And then South Carolina, Alabama, Vanderbilt, LSU, and A&M, all 4-6. 6 teams are 4-6. Missouri 3-6, Ole Miss 3-7, Georgia 1-9. Let's see who Arkansas plays this week. Arkansas plays Florida tomorrow night in Gainesville, and then they play Kentucky on Saturday. So Tennessee should be able to gain a game this week on Arkansas, assuming that it takes care of business against Mississippi State and that Kentucky beats Arkansas on the road on Saturday. So something to keep up with there. In regards to SEC football, we discussed the Brian Harsin situation, and that has been interesting to see play out the last couple of days because you had to deny strong rumors on Friday morning. Then Brian Harsin has been fighting for his job all weekend. You've had some players come out and voice their displeasure for Brian Harsin. Smoke Monday, a safety on the team last year, said that he treated them like dogs. You also had Chandler Wooten, who was a captain, say that players are being soft, and Brian Harsin was there to say no more babysitting and said that it's bull, you know what, that Harsin doesn't care about players. So you had Chandler Wooten, the captain, standing up for him. You had another defensive tackle stand up for him and say that he was giving chemo to get rid of the cancers on the team. You had the Auburn president, Jay Gogue, come out and say there's been a lot of rumors and speculation about our football program. I just want to separate fact from fiction. You had Brian Harsin tell Chris Lowe that folks need to let the coaches coach. It is just an absolute disaster down on the plains, and they have had several transfers as well. So something to keep paying attention to over the next couple of days. Elsewhere in the SEC, LSU picked up another transfer number 13. South Carolina freshman linebacker Colby Fields is headed to LSU. He is a Louisiana native. Georgia hired Chidera Uzo-Diribe to be its outside linebackers coach. What a name. Chidera Uzo-Diribe. That is one heck of a name there. And then LSU pulled off something pretty interesting on Friday. They tweeted it out at 3 p.m. It said, a historic first, customizable Nike jerseys for every LSU football player who opts into the program are coming in 2022. So this upcoming season, you'll be able to go, if you were an LSU fan, they're partnering with Fanatics, and you can go on and buy any jersey you want from that LSU football team. And it is the real deal, licensed by the team, player's last name on it. I mean, it's like going on the Titans shop and ordering a Derrick Henry jersey.
Mm-hmm.
This is huge. Hopefully Tennessee can do something like this. It's also a good thing for my parents that this did not exist in Tennessee, for Tennessee.
Why's that?
When I was a kid.
Why's that?
Oh, I would have had all the jerseys. I would have had an Eric Berry jersey.
Eric Berry.
I loved Kevin Burnett. I would have had a Burnett jersey. because I thought it was cool that he rocked number 2. I probably would have had Rico McCoy because I love the number 5 and the visors that those two were rocking. I would have had a Jason Swain jersey.
There you go.
I loved Meacham too. I probably would have asked for a Meacham jersey. I would have asked, and then obviously as a kid, I loved all the quarterbacks. I would have wanted. I actually did. Well, in my mind, I had an Ainge jersey because they had the number 10 jerseys in the shop at the time because Ainge was the quarterback. But Schaefer or Clausen, I would have wanted all the quarterback jerseys. Tyler Bray at one point.
I'm sure other teams will follow suit
Yes,
and allow for their fans to be able to, get some of those jerseys too.
This would be a massive, massive income, and I imagine the school is getting a check because their logos are on it. So this would be a huge source of income.
School gonna get their cut.
Correct. So huge source of income from for players and the school. Imagine having this on like the 2016 Tennessee football team. I know that team was very, very disappointing, but can you imagine the amount of Dobbs jerseys that would have been sold and Kamara jerseys and Barnett jerseys and Cam Sutton? How many of us would have had one of each? Like, I know me in college and it being popular to wear jerseys in college, I would have tried to have like the trifecta, all of them. Give me the Barnett, give me the Cam Sutton, give me the Jalen Reeves-Maybin, give me the Alvin, give me the.
You would have went broke.
I 1,000%. I would have. I definitely would have. Or how about the best Grant and Admiral team? How could you not want the jersey of every single player in that rotation? Lamonte, Grant, Admiral, Kyle, Bowden, Folky. Those jerseys would have been popular, and this is big time. Or heck, for the baseball team last year, Evan Russell jerseys, Drew Gilbert. So, this will be really, really cool. I'm sure.
I'm gonna have my Drew Gilbert jersey on this year.
Oh, you really will have one this year. Hopefully, they send you one that fits you.
That's right.
I heard a little birdie reached out to you and wanted to send you one.
Oh man, I'm a pretty big deal, I guess.
Last thing I got for you is that the Alabama Board of Trustees approved the proposed plan to build a new basketball arena there in Tuscaloosa. Crimson Tide Director of Athletics, Greg Byrne, introduced the plan for a new arena on Thursday. Financially, what is being referred to as the University of Alabama Athletic Competition Arena, the proposed venue would cost $183 million, plus $27 million for a new golf facility. Alabama would have $62 million in Crimson Standard fundraising cash to put down. The new arena is projected to seat 10,136 people and is designed to bring fans closer to the action on the court. Features would also include student seating around the majority of the lower bowl.
So like Auburn.
Yes. It actually looks like Ole Miss's arena. If you look at the pavilion and the draw-ups of this Alabama one, it looks very, very similar to that. So looks like Alabama's getting a new arena. But they are getting it. Not looks like. They are getting a new arena.
Yep.
How about dropping $27 million on golf? That's what having a successful football program does for you.
Pretty much. What else you got?
I've got two other interesting things if you want it.
Yeah, I got some stuff here too. So.
Oh yeah, we're loaded. There's this excerpt from Bruce Feldman writing about Coach O that I found really interesting, and it kind of went viral on Friday. That Ed Orgeron alpha'd Joe Burrow's brother until Dan Burrow put together a Microsoft Word document to give Joe on why he should go to LSU. Coach O called him and said, "Hey, Dan, what's Joe going to do?" "Well, Coach, it's his decision." "Hey, Dan, F that. LSU or Cincinnati? Listen, Dan, I want you to reach down there and check your package. If you got two, you need to give him a call and tell him LSU is the best place for him. Are you going to let him go to Cincinnati instead of LSU, Dan?" "Well, it's going to be up to Joe. Danny, if you love your brother and want what's best for him, and I know you do, you got to call him and be firm with him." "Yes, sir. I know you love your brother, and you know that the best decision is for him to go to LSU. You got to be strong and forceful in how you say it." Coach O telling Joe Burrow's brother to reach down and check his package, and if you have two, call your brother and tell him to come to LSU is hilarious.
That either works to perfection or you fail horribly.
Yes.
And
that's such a Coach O story.
But it's firm. Like, it's firm, and it's golly, man.
Isn't that hilarious?
That's great. That is great.
And then the last thing, for real, last thing. I meant to give you this earlier, but the numbers on Brian Harsin's buyout.
Oh, so it's incredible. Remember we talked about the combination of his buyout with Gus Malzahn's, and it would be like $40 million. I was just kind of guesstimating.
Yep, it's
Pete Thamel,
$70 million. When for just Gus and Harsin, just those two individuals, it's $40 million. And then when you factor in the staff buyouts from each staff, Auburn would be up to $70 million. And Brian Harsin's buyout is 18.3, and 9.15 of it is due within 30 days. And then the other half in quarterly payments over the next year would be incredible.
I mean, damage is already done, whether he comes back or not. Just like the damage I think is done in Michigan, which is why Josh Gaddis left Michigan and went to Miami. I mean, he's had enough. He had enough. Harbaugh went and interviewed with the Minnesota Vikings, tried to give them their pitch of why he should get an offer, and now he's going to come back. Well, Josh Gaddis was like, man, this is not stable enough for me. And he left to take the Miami job. Now, there were some reports from Miami that Miami was eyeing Tennessee's offense coordinator, Alex Golesh. So I guess folks don't have to worry about that anymore. I wasn't necessarily concerned after I made a couple calls. The Golesh wanted to be here, did not want to move around, and was comfortable where he is right now. I think he's someone that will be a head coach in the future, but right now, it's not in his cards to leave. So it is in Ace's cards. He hears something outside, so that's why he's barking. So I have to put him outside during the break. But Lance Thompson is going to Maryland. Lance Thompson. Yeah, former SEC assistant, was at Tennessee, Bama, Auburn, South Carolina, and LSU. He is going to follow Mike Locksley up there in Maryland. So 865-255-03. That is around the SEC. Two former assistants on the move. Lance Thompson to Maryland, and then Josh Gaddis is going down to Miami. Gaddis was the former Vanderbilt wide receiver coach, former Alabama wide receiver coach, and just wrapped up a dang good year as offense coordinator for Michigan. So I'm a Gaddis fan. I like Gaddis. He did a good job there when he was at Vanderbilt, developing those guys. So he is on the move. Miami got a good one in Gaddis. Swain Event, be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. Fellas,
When it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's only one play to make, and that's to go see my friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in small batch denim in the heart of Knoxville. Denim isn't all they do though. Mark Nelson also does custom suiting and blazers. Let your personal style shine with Mark Nelson. If you don't have time to go shopping for yourself but still want that fresh look, then sign up for the NN Society. Let the experts handle the shopping and get $300 worth of merchandise for just $150 every other month. That's 6 times per year to keep you looking styling every day. Let Mark Nelson Denim help you be the best you, because when you look good, you feel good. Go to marknelsondenim.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over. If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. irisnetworksusa.com.
Healthcare. This is not a. He's handsome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And wants to, and then remembers.
11 months. Yeah. He'll be 11.
But he was what, 6?
Born
He's already.
2 ace years and 03. Check the VFS as I thought, referring to LSU and departures to the portal. But if you have, I ain't gonna like that. Like
Tennessee would have to play him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said it a couple weeks ago. Each week that passes, I get less and less confident in that LSU game. I was feeling good about the LSU game a couple months ago. But
I still feel good about it, but
do I?
I mean, they've had some transfers, but
not some. They had a lot of players elect to come back. They added many players to the transfer, some good ones too.
I still feel good.
They won't have theoretically they won't have the dysfunction. I don't feel good about that game. I don't personally.
Yeah, I understand feeling less optimistic about it now than 3 or 4 months ago. I get that. I get that.
What if they add JT Daniels?
I'm gonna feel terrible about the game. I'm gonna feel terrible. I tell you.
I am excited. I'm excited though. Like for Tennessee to go to Baton Rouge, like that. I know it's a cliche
I hope
for
it's a day game.
It won't. If the people who make those decisions are smart, it will be a night game because the rating on that game, even not even knowing whether it'll be competitive or not, will be tremendous. The ratings will be, but
day game, please.
I know it's cliche, like for coaches and players to say, this is why you come to the SEC to play in games like this, but like truly, like that is SEC football at its best when Tennessee and LSU are playing, and we don't always get to play LSU, so I'm excited for that road game.
Vol fan says, will a Tennessee player win an SEC Weekly Award today? Those are released a little bit later on Mondays. Possibly Zakai as Freshman of the Week. I know Josiah Jordan-James should be highlighted. His 2 games last week, they were award worthy. As far as freshmen, I mean, Zakai was balling too. I can't think of another freshman off the top of my head that in the conference that had a better 2-game stretch last week.
Yeah. I mean, just without doing a deep dive into what other freshmen in the league did, I mean, hard to imagine that Zakai is not a front runner to win SEC Freshman of the Week this week. it'll be announced around noon. Again, not too familiar with what all the other freshmen did in the league this week, but have to think that Zakai was the best of them all, or one of the best at minimum.
And he would be a new person.
Yes. He needs to win one before the season is over.
Yeah, like you can give it to Jabari Smith every week if you wanted to. Because he's that good. But like someone new, Zakai Ziegler would be a perfect selection because in the last 2 games he has averaged 16 points. He had 14 against Texas A&M, and he had 18 points against South Carolina. So he's averaged 16 points. He has shot the ball great from the three-point line, 6 for 11 in the last 2 games.
And, Kennedy even deserves SEC Freshman of the Week. Like, if Kennedy won it today, he would be deserving as well. I think Zakai is more deserving, but a double-double, again, I've said it a million times today, a double-double, and it being because you got double-digit assists in college is so impressive. And the most impressive part was that he had 1 turnover against a good defense. Like, Kennedy is just as deserving of it.
He really is. I think Tennessee should have a player recognized.
Let's do Co. This is the one time I'm in favor of Co. SEC Freshman of the Week, and let Zakai and Kennedy share it.
I don't want them to share it. I want one of them to get it.
I'd rather them share it than neither of them win it at all.
Well, yeah, but I'd rather one of them win
Didn't
it.
Kennedy win it early in the year, though? I feel like he did.
I want Zakai to win it. I want him to win it.
He deserves it for sure.
Yeah, he's
played. He had his MJ flu game.
He did. He sure did, man. Had the stomach bug. It was throwing up, still playing.
Are we sure it's a stomach bug?
Well, maybe food poisoning. You never know, man. Nasty South Carolina food.
Yeah, just wait till Saturday's Vanderbilt game has to be canceled because of COVID.
Oh, gosh.
I joke.
Oh, man. 865-255-03. Val Birmingham says the Kai Ziegler's jerseys would be sold out already if they were available, like LSU's jerseys will be available in the near future. No, I agree right there. Vandy cost me a $500 parlay from Uncle Sam. Oh, goodness.
That's brutal.
Did Vandy cost you that, or was that LSU that cost you that?
That's a good point. I think LSU cost you
Yeah,
parlay.
Man. ATL VFL says Auburn is very beatable on the road. I agree.
They have not looked good on the road of late. Missouri was an ugly game for them. Georgia, an ugly game for them. They did not look good until the final 10 minutes or so in Tuscaloosa. I have this weird feeling that Tennessee's going to beat Auburn. It's not bubble guts or anything like that. I was feeling this early last week too.
What did you eat yesterday? You ate some Skyline chili?
Barbecue.
In Alabama?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. It's bubble guts.
Well, I had this feeling like last week, too. I just didn't say it. I have this weird feeling that Tennessee's going to beat Auburn. Maybe it's my orange-colored sunglasses talking. But I just have this feeling. But I also had a feeling that I was going to have a girl and it was a boy. So who knows? Maybe it's just wishful thinking.
Are you in the text box, man? Are you over there on your phone using the text box? Because Downtown Vol says, am I crazy for thinking we beat Auburn when we play them? Because I feel crazy typing it. But they really struggle on the road, and we really play well at home. I don't know. I just want to know if I'm crazy. Not crazy, Ben.
I am not Downtown Vol on
like
the text box. Downtown Vol just has a great opinion.
I'm not talking myself into the Auburn win just yet. I need to see what we do this week. I need to see what happens with Olivier.
Yes.
And how he bounces back from the injury.
What we need to do is we need Urosh to go full heel, full Omar Payne, and just throw an elbow right in Walker Kessler's eye to where he's just out that game.
We don't condone that, Ben.
What? We don't?
We don't condone those type of actions.
If we can just get Walker Kessler out of the game.
But we condone Jawan Jennings stepping on the Vanderbilt player's face on the sideline.
No, he didn't step on his face. He misstepped.
Certain players get passes around here. And Jawan gets a pass. He gets a pass. He gets a pass. And we'll see if Alvin Kamara gets a pass here once we figure out some more details.
Jawan was just having a real good time on the sideline. Last game in Neyland, and just I
don't think Uros has earned a pass. The wrong spot. Uros has not earned a pass to do that. He got to bring in for more than just one game. It needs a little bit more. All right. Speaking of Tennessee basketball, you wrote a piece on Tennessee basketball recruit, a guard from Texas, Ben. He just got a offer. He is a guard, 6'3", 6'4", can put the ball in the hoop, but he brings a little bit more to the court than just scoring. And who is that player that Tennessee is eyeing in recruiting in basketball?
Cordelius. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce his name. Would you say that's Cordelius?
Cordelius.
He goes by KJ. It seems though. So KJ
Cordelis.
Jefferson
or Cordelis.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna go Cordelis.
I'm gonna go with KJ.
That's probably easier.
He did pick up an offer from Tennessee last month, and as you mentioned, he is from Texas. He's from Arlington, Texas, and he's seen his recruitment skyrocket of late over the last couple of months. Around Christmas, he picked up some significant offers from Ole Miss, Mississippi State. He's taken visits to A&M, TCU, and then Tennessee kind of swooped in and offered in January as well. He's originally from Mississippi, so that's how he kind of got those Mississippi offers. But in addition to the Mississippi offers, he picked up offers from Houston, A&M, Texas Tech, and UNLV within a couple of days. Tennessee also offered, and he's been talking to Rod Clark a lot, Tennessee assistant coach, and he's a big fan of Rod Clark. Told me that's his guy, and that he talks to Coach Clark a ton, and has FaceTimed with Coach Barnes twice. And this was 2 weeks or so ago when I wrote this, or when I spoke with him. I'm sure he's talked to Rick again over FaceTime since then. He's also he said the chaplain. I imagine he's referring to Chris Walker.
Mm-hmm.
So Tennessee's pushing there, and he'll be in town this weekend for an official visit. Official visits are different in basketball, though. You're allowed to take 5 official visits as a junior in basketball, and then you still get your official visits as a senior as well. So he's taking one to Tennessee. Has not been on one yet. He is going to go to Houston at some point. And I really like his game. I came in the morning after I spoke with him, and this was recently after the Kentucky debacle, and we had that big conversation about the quotes on leadership and Rick mentioning Urosh and Jamai after the Kentucky game, and Josiah, kind of saying that everybody is a leader on the team and no one voice matters more than the other. And we had that whole conversation. And then I called him and spoke to him, and he was like, hey, I am a leader, and the coaches want me to come in and be a leader. And you watch his little highlight tapes that he tweets out, and he's got some swagger to him, the swagger that we were clamoring for after that Kentucky loss. We've seen it more lately. Urosh, what he did against Vanderbilt and LSU, bringing the energy. Zakai tickling the nose of Tyree Appleby, and also not backing down from anybody. And Josiah's had a little attitude to him lately as well. I kind of asked him about the block he had against Texas A&M and letting that player know about it, and he kind of laughed and said that he's just focused on bringing the intensity. So we've seen more of it lately, but I really wanted the kid, when coming off the Kentucky loss, and we had not seen that same, mentality that we were looking for. And you can see it in his highlight videos. He knock a shot in somebody's face and lets them know about it. He comes out of nowhere and gets a block and lets them know about it, and does a little shimmying and shaking, and all like in a good way, not like too excessive or over the top, but seems to be a real athletic guard, and he'll be here this weekend. So we'll see what happens as Tennessee continues to evaluate him, as his recruitment continues to surge. But just kind of my initial impression of him, I was really, really impressed, and somebody I wanted to sign up to play for the Vols right now.
Well, somebody did sign up to play for the Vols. wasn't him, not yet. Hopefully he is one, but Cameron Douglas on the football field signed up to play for the Vols and turned down some scholarship offers to walk on at Tennessee and be a preferred walk-on. He's from Haywood High School there in Brownsville, Tennessee. Has some offers from other schools, Vanderbilt, Memphis, and some other FBS offers out there. And he is a defensive lineman, man, 6'2", 300 pounds. Took an unofficial visit to Tennessee a couple days ago and did not want to miss out on an opportunity to play in the state and play in the SEC. So you're seeing Blair over there at West, who was once a Michigan State commit.
Shannon Blair.
Got injured during the senior year. Michigan State kind of pulled the okie doke on him and took away his offer. That's why you had a lot of people from this area upset with Michigan State. Doubt they'll be able to come back and recruit here for a while. Doubt they care either because it's Knoxville, Tennessee. They have other places to go recruit, but they certainly burn the bridge in Knoxville. But the quality of walk-ons and preferred walk-ons are different.
Yeah, I think the conversation has been somewhat exaggerated and overhyped. A lot of Tennessee fans are super excited about the additions of the walk-ons of late, and not saying that there shouldn't be excitement, because I think Tennessee has a real plan, a legit plan for the walk-ons, and that's something to be excited about. But I do think it's been a bit exaggerated, and like there's this expectation that they're gonna come in and just automatically produce, and I think that maybe we should pump the brakes in terms of expectations and what they are going to bring to the table. That Tennessee's doing great work in the walk-on world, and I do think it's 1,000% going to make special teams better. And in a day and age where transfers are happening left and right, I think it is great depth to have. But I would be very surprised if these guys came in and were like impact starters for this team.
Yeah, I mean, you are improving your team, and National Signing Day historically is about improving the top half of your team, the top 30 of your team, because you're looking at those signees from signing day who are part of that 25 signing class. You're looking at those guys as being day one contributors, day two contributors, year one, year two, year three contributors. And so a lot of attention goes to those players. But what Tennessee has done is upgrade the bottom half of the roster, and that is important when you are doing scout team, when you are doing special teams. If you're able to give one of your starters a blow and take him off a unit without the performance dropping off too much, I think that's significant. I think it's important, but I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like the Tennessee just brought in the top 5 class or anything. But it's just worth mentioning that
for sure
you got players that have offers to play college football somewhere else, and they decided to come to Tennessee.
Yes.
And that's better than the walk-ons that we've had in the past that maybe didn't have any offers to play at other schools, but decided to come here and walk on. So it's about getting better. And Tennessee did get better with the roster. It's just not the top half, top third of the roster like normal. 865-255-03.
The one that I really like is the Shannon Blair addition. He had legit D1 offers. Now, to pour a little bit of cold water on it, Tennessee was kind of weary about his speed. And then the young man, unfortunately, tears his ACL. So you're already questioning his speed, and then he tears an ACL, which is why Michigan State was like, thanks but no thanks. So we'll see how he bounces back from that. But he is somebody that Tennessee evaluated throughout the process, and he he is for sure not your typical walk-on type of kid, 1,000%. Like I'm really intrigued to see how that situation pans out. Even Jackson Hanna, the young man from the Nashville area who was at Nebraska. I mean, he played at Nebraska. I mean, not every down at backer, but he can provide depth at that position, and Tennessee desperately needs depth at that position. And I mean, he played special teams for 3 years, and special teams is truly a third of the game that we forget about because we don't talk about because it's not sexy.
Yeah, the Packers got beat. Special teams.
Yep, I was gonna. That's the point that I was about to make next. Is you had teams lose their seasons come to an end because of special teams. So it's really good, and to me, it's just further proof that like Tennessee is headed in the right direction. Like these preferred walk-ons aren't going to be the difference in Tennessee beating Florida or Georgia or Alabama, but it's just another department of the football program in which Tennessee's coaching staff and support staff are handling well. That's kind of the way that I look at it. It's just another area of the program that they are doing good things in and handling it well.
Let's get to the phones here. 865-255-03. C-Mac says, what kind of former UT wide receiver asked for LSU to be a day game? One that played in a night game at LSU and knows the difference between a night game and a day game and understands that LSU is a hard place to play when it's night. One that wants Tennessee to go into a situation that benefits Tennessee the most. That's what. That's why, C-Mac. Why do I want Tennessee to go into the most hostile environment? Why do I want them to go into a situation where it's harder to win? That's why, C-Mac. C-Mac must be sleepy still. Wake up, man. Let's get to Turkey Man. Turkey Man, good morning.
Good morning, individuals.
Good morning.
Hope you had a great weekend.
Yeah, man, you too. It was good. It was chill.
It was. It was. I was going to ask you about the next year's team compared to this year's team because I really and truly I know the schedule's supposed to be better next year, but I think it'll be hard for us to beat what we did and what was almost did this year. And I put it a lot in the way of Butch's first year that he should have actually had a better record than he ended up having because he let some things get away from him. And I don't count our coaches or coaching staff of the letting it get away. I'm thinking that we got some stuff taken from us because of improper calls at the wrong time. But we very easily could have won the game, Ole Miss, and I feel like that we had a real shot at that, and I really feel like we had the very same thing at the Pitt game in particular. And those are two games that could have been a W just as easy as an L, and that would have been a nine-win season very easily. And I think it'd be hard for us to reach that this year from what I've seen so far, because we lost some key players and some maturity. So I don't know. We'll see. But as far as the nickname, I'm not much at nicknames. You guys named me. I ain't much at nicknames. But I remember having such a hard time thinking. Was making fun of Peyton. They called him Goat, and I got upset about that. You remember that? And they call him the Sheriff. Well, I was wondering about the Shepherd.
I like the Shepherd.
I was wondering about that because that's biblical, and also, Shepherd, he watched over the sheep.
I like Shepherd.
I'll talk to you later, guys.
See you, Turkey Man. Yeah, the 13th season, Bush Jones' first year, man, they had two games where they could have won, but they lost. the overtime game against Georgia. Lost 34-31. Remember the Pig Howard fumble there at the goal line where he tried to extend. And then you had the Vanderbilt game, 14-10 loss. So those two games could have been different. And then Heupel's first season, Ole Miss, Pittsburgh, you had some controversial calls late in that game. Tennessee's schedule does get easier, though, Turkey Man. It gets easier. You don't play a Pitt team that, conference champions and a number one overall pick, number one quarterback possibly off the board with a ton of super seniors. And then Ole Miss had their best season in program history. So, but you do pick up LSU. We'll see what happens there. Then you play Pitt again. And it's okay not to know right now. It's February the 7th. And this time last year, we didn't think Tennessee would even be in a position to go to a bowl game. We didn't think Tennessee would be in a position to do what it did during the season. That's okay. It's February. It's February. We don't have to know. We know that, especially this year, that once the spring semester is over, Tennessee is going to be able to address some numbers with the roster, and they'll do that. So this team can possibly look totally different from a roster standpoint now versus the end of spring, the end of mini session, which is May, maybe the end of first session, which is June. It can look totally different. We should have learned that lesson last year. Let's go back to the phones.
We got Volstorm.
Volstorm, what's up, man? Where you been?
Boys, what's going on?
What is up?
Guys, I got just a couple quick things. First of all, how many months will it take for the crane to get here to take Alvin Kamara back off of the Jumbotron?
He's innocent until proven guilty. We're keeping him on there, man. We're keeping him on there.
I know that, and you know that, but, I mean, hell, we got ball fans out here that are celebrating the fact he got in trouble because they don't like all the attention he gets.
Huh?
Yes.
They don't like attention that he gets.
Yes, because everybody hypes up Kamara.
Have you been on Facebook?
No, I've been on Twitter.
I haven't seen this.
Oh, I have.
So the most visible, successful former football player in NFL.
Yes.
People have a problem with him getting attention.
Yes. You know how it is. They always want to hype you up and then watch you fail.
You know something about that.
People are really stupid, aren't they?
Yes.
Wow. Try not to use that word, man, but goodness gracious. I don't know another word for it.
Well, speaking of stupid, guys, before I go, congratulations to Ben on having a baby boy. Maybe now he'll have a friend that'll actually play with him. See you, bud!
Judge plays with me.
Oh, man. Son, he'll be ready to go, man. He'll have all the baseball pointers, all the access to Tennessee baseball. He'll be ready to go, man. He'll be the next Bryce Harper.
I'm going to go with Mike Trout.
That's because you're trying to name him Trout.
No, that's my joking
Not
name.
happening?
No. I'm trying to think of a good baseball name. I thought Trout would be a good baseball name. I wouldn't name my kid Trout, though.
Yeah, I don't know what Volstorm talking about. I need to know proof.
Yeah, I need to see proof that this is actually happening.
One person or two people tired of Kamara's getting positive attention. I'm sorry, man. We those people don't count.
There's always going to be one or two that are
idiots,
stupid like that.
Yeah,
we need to see like a full thread of people agreeing.
And even if it's 20 people, that's still a small
20 out of a million
dumb minority. You want, like, when Peyton was in the league and he was doing this thing, nobody complained about Peyton getting attention. Nobody complained about, Juwan Jennings getting attention. No one complained about any volunteer getting positive attention in NFL. What? That makes no sense. I don't believe you, Volstone. I need proof. I need proof. Alex says a lot of examples of preferred walk-ons ending up being big contributors at a lot of programs, but not just at Tennessee. Don't discount them. No, not discounting them, but you need to just.
I'm saying the expectations need to be different.
Yeah, like you're naming like a few players. Like Alex named, Brandon Bullsworth and Baker Mayfield and Rashad Johnson and Hunter Renfrow and J.J. Watt, Santana Moss and Stetson Bennett. Like you're naming a few
over a decade
spread out different schools. Well, we're talking about a group of 10, 15 preferred walk-ons to Tennessee that's coming in. You don't know who is it going to be. Like no one knew that these guys were going to step up and be the players that they were. So when you have a class of 4- and 5-star players that are ranked in the top 5, there's a reason to be excited about that class. There's not a reason to be like super fired up in the same way about this preferred walk-on class, other than saying, "Hey, man, like they are upgrading the bottom half of the roster." And somebody could possibly come out of that group,
right,
and be a Rashad Johnson or a Hunter Renfrow or a Santana Moss. You just don't know. So let's wait until that happens.
That often. And we have this same conversation every single year about preferred walk-ons. Because every year around signing day, Tennessee gets 3, 4, 5 of them, and everybody loves to talk about them, and they never do anything.
Yeah, well, like if you take a whole group of preferred walk-ons out of 100 and say, okay, there's some of them that's going to ball out all over the country. But if you're taking like 15 from Tennessee, what's the likelihood that more than 1 or 2 are going to step up and be a player that be worthy of a scholarship coming out of high school, or should have been given a scholarship out of high school? You just never know. So
I hope they all ball out. That'd be a really cool story.
Me too, man. I hope we get the best preferred walk-on class in college football history.
And it helped Tennessee win.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm not going to get hyped up about it just yet. Just recognize that they're better than previous walk-on classes, and let's see what they do.
Mm-hmm.
We'll know here in a couple months. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain, Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. Have a great day. Peace and love. We are out. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on